Tell us who you guys are.
We're the Joneses.
We're the Joneses.
Before Christ, my life was lots of questions of what my real purpose was in life. There was lots of sadness and joy in being a parent, but something was missing. Going through life, I kind of considered myself a Christian, but I never really knew what that meant. It was always my needs, what I need, what I want to happen. It was just something I knew about, but not anything I ever really focused on.
There was a point in time where I was super short-tempered, quick to get angry, quick to just get irritated. And a lot of that came from just being unhappy with myself, and not really taking very good care of myself. After a certain point, our relationship got to a point where it was almost ruined because of my actions. It was very apparent that change needed to happen, but we didn't really kind of know what. Even though I started exercising and eating right, and our relationship got significantly better, there was still something missing. Didn't know what it was. I mean, I could say that it was faith that was missing, but at the time I didn't realize it. Now, I had kind of seen it having an effect in your life, but I still wasn't getting it. It still wasn't there for me. That's kind of where things were at leading up to this point,
Over the summer, I had a pulling, nagging sensation in my heart that something was incomplete. Something kept pulling me. Something kept telling me, there's more. And so I went to my childhood home. I stopped in and I said, Dad, this is going to sound crazy, but can you find my childhood Bible? We scoured the house, couldn't find it. He gave me his. I came home and I started reading and I started consuming all of the information that I could find, everything that I could, and I did it very quietly, privately, because I didn't want to scare him. So for a while I was growing my relationship and I was praying more than ever. I was talking to God more than ever. Then there was a point in September where it felt like everything was caving in. I found out my autoimmune disease was back. It wasn't in remission anymore. One of our sons' eczema was just completely out of control, not responding to medicine. The other son had anxiety and was having trouble adjusting to school. He was a little more stressed, and so we were arguing a lot. And I remember that night I went to bed. I angrily said out loud to God, I said, "What is the point?" I said, I feel farther from you now than I did before I started praying. Am I just wasting my time? Did I stray for too long? Why is all of this happening when I feel like you're just not even listening to me anymore? I said, I just need a sign that I'm not wasting my time and that you still care. That next morning I got up and I went to work, and on my way I saw two women holding literal signs, one that said Jesus saves and another one that says Jesus loves you. And I still was angry, but something instinctively inside me beeped my horn and waved, but as soon as I passed them I kind of slumped back down like a child throwing a tantrum, kind of feeling like an imposter. And so I go to work, and on my way home, I call Travis usually, and he didn't answer the phone, which was fine. I came in and I said, hey, babe, is everything okay? Why haven't you answered the phone? And he said, well, I was reading something that was left on our porch. And initially, my first reaction was, I don't want solar panels. I don't,
You're like, oh no, what's he getting ready to sign us up for?
What are you getting ready to buy? Mm-hmm. This day is just awful. Life is awful. And he came up holding the Bible. If there's ever a sign that you are on the right path, that was it. It all clicked for me in that moment. it was like in a moment where I was ready to just turn away forever. That Bible just changed everything.
It really did.
Yeah.
It really did. This particular day, I had a very long, very hard, stressful day at work. I always get home before everybody else. I do that so I can pick up my kids. But on this particular day, when I came home, in its little box hanging on our front porch was the Bible that CrossPoints hands out. Now, at that point, I'd never heard of CrossPoints, and our family as a whole had not been going to church. I had started to see the impact that faith was playing in my wife's life, but I just kind of wasn't there. Mostly just because I was enveloped in everything else going on in life. But on this particular day, normally any leaflet or anything that gets left on the front porch, I toss it on the coffee table and, get ready to, go about the rest of my evening. But there was a pull to just open the box, open the book. And as soon as I started reading this particular one, it sucked me in a way that, picking up the Bible never had before. It kind of eased that fear of what is this book really all about, I didn't know how to read it. I didn't know where to start. And it laid that out for me. I just started reading. Normally, whenever she gets off work and she calls me, I'm always there to pick up. But I was glued. I was glued to it, to the point where I knew she would understand. It felt like something that was more than just a book, but something that I really had to just clutch onto. It almost became a comfort in a moment of stress. When she came home and she had asked what I had been reading, and I showed it to her, I remember the look on her face was a look of as if she was kind of laughing, but there was a deeper joy in that I could see too. And at that point, that's kind of when I decided to actually start being more active, learning about, what faith can offer and what this road really is all about. Knowing what I know now, I see that it is something that's delivered to the entire community, but it felt like it was placed on our doorstep for all the right reasons. Whatever reason that I didn't know at the time has been one of the most impactful things in our life at this point.
I think I said the other day, it's like you could, as a church, say you go out and hand out 100 of those, right? And 99 people look at them and say, oh, that's nice, or oh, I already go to church, but that's nice. And then there's the one that's just ready to give up, just walk away for good, and it's that's not coincidence. And so it's even if you feel like you're not reaching everybody, you're reaching someone, and it's changing everything.
It's changing everything. It's all right, baby. Yeah. There's no other way to put it. It's one of my favorite stories that I will carry with me till the day I die.